Now, shelter is a very important aspect to survival. It is used for keeping you covered from the elements, especially in the summertime and wintertime. During the summer, it can keep you out of the sun, and during the winter, it keeps you warm, dry, which can very well prevent hypothermia. Now let's go find a spot where we can build and construct a tarp shelter. It seems like a pretty good spot, and here's why. When you're setting up a tarp shelter, you need to set up or tie a ridgeline, which includes 2 trees 10 to 20 feet away from each other. Now, since there's leaves everywhere, what we're going to do is clear this part off, and then we're going to set up our shelters. Now what we're going to do is we're going to tie our ridgeline. And for that, we're first going to need to tie a bowline knot. Now I've tied my bowline knot, and if you want to learn how to tie this knot, I'll put a link in the description below of one of my videos where I teach you how to tie this knot. Now what we want to do is we want to go on the around the left side of the tree. Now what we do is we take the remainder of our paracord and make it go through the loop of the bowline knot. Now we have a second loop. Then we take a stick, make it go through that second loop, and we pull away from the tree. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure the stick goes up and down on a line like that, and while we're holding it down on the tree like that, what we're going to do is we're going to yank and pull as hard as we can away on the left side of the stick. And then what we'll do is we'll go to the right side of it and pull on the right side and yank it. And then back to the left side, yank and pull, and now it'll stay there tight, and now we can work on our knot at the other tree. Now that we cut our paracord to the length we need, we can now use a lighter or match and melt the end of it. Now what you do is you take your other end and you make it go around the left side of the other tree, and you pull very tight. Then what you do is you take your working end and make it go over the staying end and under it, and then pull very tight. This is where you want to keep the most amount of tension on the ridge line. Now what we do is we make a U shape right here, Then we take our tag end and make it go through that U shape, and we pull it away from the tree. Depending on how big your tarp is, you can make your ridgeline and adjust it to whatever size you want based on that. But for me, my tarp is 10 by 10, so I'm making it about 4 feet high. Now when you have your loop, what you do is you take a stick, make it go through that loop, and you pull the slip knot end of your loop, and you pull it down, and now your loop won't slip. Now what you do is you give the ridgeline a pluck, make sure it's tight, and this is pretty tight. Now what we do is we set up our shelter.